Kevin Costner has long stood as one of the most respected figures in American cinema, a performer whose steady presence shaped decades of storytelling. From protecting love in The Bodyguard to inspiring faith in Field of Dreams and redefining the Western with Dances with Wolves, he became a symbol of quiet resilience on screen. Yet his life has never been defined by glamour alone. Behind the calm expression and measured voice stands a man forged by uncertainty, loss, and relentless perseverance. He did not inherit opportunity or influence. He built his career step by step, enduring rejection, criticism, and public failure. Now in his 70s, he remains standing through personal and professional storms that might have ended others. His story is not simply about fame. It is about endurance, reinvention, and the strength to continue when the world expects you to fall. Childhood. Growing up in the shadow of loss. Born on January 18, 1955, in Lynwood, California, Kevin Costner entered a household already marked by grief. 2 years before his birth, his parents lost a baby boy after only 1 day of life. Though the tragedy was rarely discussed, its presence lingered in the quiet corners of the home. His father, Bill, worked long hours repairing power lines under harsh conditions, while his mother, Sharon, devoted her energy to helping others through social work. They carried their pain privately, determined to keep moving forward. Young Kevin absorbed that silence. He sensed the sorrow without hearing it spoken. The family's love existed, but it was careful and restrained, shaped by fear of further loss. That early environment taught him emotional awareness and sensitivity, traits that would later define his performances. Before Hollywood ever noticed him, he had already learned how to feel deeply without saying much at all. Instability, a childhood of constant change. Kevin's upbringing was marked by movement. His father's job required frequent relocations, sending the family from one rented house to another across Southern California. Each move meant new classrooms, unfamiliar faces, and the exhausting task of beginning again. He was shy and often overlooked, rarely the loudest or most confident child in the room. Friendships were temporary because stability never lasted long. He learned not to grow too attached, knowing another move could erase everything overnight. School offered little comfort. He was not always the center of attention, nor the star athlete. Instead, he retreated inward, nurturing imagination as a quiet companion. The church choir became one of the few places he felt recognized. Music offered belonging when nothing else did. These years of instability planted the seeds of resilience. Change was no longer frightening. It was inevitable. And adapting became a skill he would rely on for the rest of his life. Lessons from loneliness and silence. Loneliness became Kevin's early teacher. Watching his parents struggle financially and emotionally, he understood that complaining would not lighten their burden. He kept fears to himself, developing an inner toughness disguised as calm. By high school graduation, he had already experienced repeated displacement, emotional restraint, and the weight of unspoken family grief. Yet those challenges built a quiet determination. He discovered that endurance is a form of strength, and that silence can sharpen observation. Rather than crumble under instability, he absorbed it. He studied people, their gestures, tones, and emotions, skills that would later enrich his acting. While others chased popularity, he chased understanding. He learned that beginning again is not failure, but survival. These formative years shaped a belief that hardship is temporary if one remains persistent. Long before auditions and red carpets, Kevin Costner was preparing for a life that would demand exactly that kind of resilience. Breakthrough and rise to stardom persistence finally bore fruit when director Lawrence Kasdan cast him in Silverado, The performance revealed a compelling blend of steadiness and vulnerability. Soon after, The Untouchables elevated him to leading man status, presenting a hero defined by integrity rather than bravado. In Bull Durham, he captured charisma and humor, winning over sports audiences. Then Field of Dreams transformed him into a symbol of hope and nostalgia, cementing his cultural impact. Success was not accidental. It was earned through years of invisible struggle. Audiences responded to his authenticity, sensing a grounded presence uncommon in Hollywood. Fame arrived swiftly, bringing awards, magazine covers, and expectations. Yet beneath the spotlight remained the same determined man shaped by hardship. Stardom validated his risk, but it also intensified pressure. Every project now carried higher stakes. The boy who once felt invisible had become a figure the world watched closely. The risk that changed Hollywood. In 1990, Kevin made a daring choice, directing and starring in Dances with Wolves. Studios doubted the project, questioning its length and use of the Lakota language. Financial risks mounted as production faced weather delays and ballooning costs. Critics predicted failure. Yet Kevin believed in the story's emotional truth. When the film premiered, skepticism dissolved into admiration. The sweeping Western resonated deeply, earning 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. It grossed over $400 million worldwide and reshaped the genre, proving that epic storytelling with cultural sensitivity could succeed. For Kevin, the triumph represented more than awards. It justified years of faith in himself. He had risked reputation and fortune, trusting instinct over industry doubt. In doing so, he solidified his place not only as a star but as a filmmaker capable of influencing Hollywood's direction. The gamble had paid off beyond expectation. Fall, criticism, and reinvention success, however, did not guarantee permanence. Ambitious projects like Waterworld faced production chaos and soaring budgets, attracting ridicule before audiences even saw the film. Though it later found appreciation, headlines branded it a failure. The Postman received similar criticism, and public perception shifted sharply. Awards praise turned into mockery. The industry that once celebrated him now questioned his judgment. Offers slowed. Scripts disappeared. For Kevin, the silence felt painfully familiar, an echo of childhood invisibility. Yet surrender was never his instinct. In 2003, he directed and starred in Open Range, a return to grounded storytelling that reminded audiences of his strengths. Years later, television provided unexpected renewal. In 2018, his portrayal of John Dutton in Yellowstone captivated millions, introducing him to a new generation. The role affirmed that reinvention is possible at any age. Falling had not ended his story. It had refined it. Personal cost and enduring legacy. Behind professional triumphs lay personal sacrifice. His first marriage to Cindy Silva endured early struggles, but eventually fractured under the strain of fame and constant travel. Divorce brought emotional and financial consequences, followed by later relationships that also faced public scrutiny. Balancing fatherhood with demanding productions proved complex. Fame amplifies every private challenge, turning human vulnerability into headlines. Yet, through love, loss, legal battles, and public judgment, Kevin continued working. He formed a second family, pursued music with his band, and began developing ambitious Western projects later in life. Now in his 70s, he remains driven not by ego but by storytelling passion. His legacy extends beyond box office numbers. It lies in resilience, the refusal to vanish after criticism, the courage to risk everything for a vision, and the humility to begin again. Conclusion: standing through the storm. Kevin Costner's journey illustrates that success is never linear. It bends, breaks, and rebuilds those who dare to pursue it. From a quiet boy shaped by grief and constant relocation to an Oscar-winning filmmaker and television icon, his life embodies persistence. He has experienced soaring acclaim and harsh ridicule, deep love and painful separation. Through it all, he has remained standing. What defines him most is not fame, but endurance, the steady commitment to keep creating despite uncertainty. His performances resonate because they are rooted in lived experience, silence, resilience, and hope. As he continues facing new challenges in his 70s, his story reminds us that strength is not loud. It is the quiet decision to rise again each time life pushes you down.